gents? How are you? Nice to see you.
Absolutely. We got
Good to
March
see you.
12th, Wednesday, 9
Almost
a.m.
halfway,
Pacific.
almost halfway through the month. I feel like these months
Absolutely.
are flying through.
Well, if you're just joining us, please go and like and subscribe to the Packet channel. We appreciate everybody staying in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, repost it so that we can spread the word. I'm gonna go blast it into the community. We got some exciting stuff happening. We have an announcement. Josh, you want to kick it off with the announcement of what just went down today?
Yeah, well, we just announced 8 Flicks. They came on the show a few.
I think it was last week. No, yeah, it was
No,
last week. Oh no, that was
they were like a month ago. They
that's
were
right.
a while ago. But yeah, we got them up on the hub, and we just sent out the press release. So that's fresh off the press. They're officially on there. And yeah, we've been onboarding new people. We got a few cool announcements that'll be rolling out throughout the week. So yeah, we're starting to get some momentum on our partnership game, which has been cool. We got some new creators that are just submitted some work. I met this guy. He's got this great comic called Kissing Party, and it's super funny. And you should follow them on Instagram. They're great. But
What is it?
Yeah, it's called Kissing Party.
What is it?
I honestly couldn't even pitch it well, but it's basically these like characters, and it's kind of like a satire on just like the world, and it's super funny. They're very like current events and things, and just kind of poking fun at all the ridiculousness. It's pretty easy to satire the world right now. The world feels like it's a satire, but living in a satire. But yeah, anyways, we're starting to get creators that are uploading their stuff and starting to promote and use the Creator Hub for what it was built for, to self-promote. So that's been cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely, I see the place that this is heading is, and we've been saying this for a long time, is getting people to use this technology and not focus on the blockchain side of it. So in terms of the Packet Hub, we're definitely focused on gaining adoption and making it a place for creators to use as a tool to self-promote and really work towards getting people to onboard and make it a place for discovery. And so that's the next frontier, I think, for Packet. And I think it's also the next frontier for Packet Cash and seeing what happens with the currency, especially once people are subscribing to or grabbing their web URLs, grabbing their custom domains, building websites, onboarding onto the Packet Hub and Creator Hub, and really starting to build that community side, which will be a lot different than how the community has been built in the past, which has been really around the currency. But we're really excited to see the community build around the utility and even get to the place where people are using these tools and not even thinking about the cryptocurrency at all, which will be the best part. And in that light, we've mentioned it several times, but there's work being done on the PacketPal side where we're building a front end that's going to make it easy for people to register for Packet domains and be able to pay with a credit card, not even have to worry about the cryptocurrency side at all. And PacketPal will actually even self-custody, or actually will do the custody for the web URL if people choose. That's generally how people's web URLs are maintained today. You'll go use Namecheap, they custody for it. You'll use GoDaddy, they'll custody it for you. So we want to offer that option for people who aren't comfortable with a Web3 wallet and want to pay for someone else to be in charge of the web URL. We believe that will help with adoption. And if you look at projects like, what are a couple of the projects? FIO is one that has millions of people that have gotten their vanity URLs, and Unstoppable Domains. That's the one I was thinking about. That has millions and millions of people who are getting domains, getting some of these unique top level domains, as well as some of their vanity domains, and they're getting millions of people to adopt. And so if we can do that on the packet side, we're going to see a lot of coin velocity, and we'll definitely see an increase in the coin price with people buying and staking. And even if people are choosing to do it through PacketPal, where they're just paying with their credit card, PacketPal will do the crypto side of it on the back end and still custody it as an NFT in a Web3 wallet on behalf of the customer. So all of that still has a clear touch point with the Packet project.
Yeah, for sure. It's like super exciting to see everybody who's been adding their projects to the hub, especially if you're a new creator or producer or just someone who's just got, talent. Adding their projects to the hub is really, really cool. And it's nice to see everybody kind of getting their content up there. We're seeing submissions coming in daily, which is really, really rad.
Yeah. And as this continues to expand and as people start finding out about it, especially once we start getting into this press cycle, that's what's been exciting about getting these partnerships, because just keep turning and burning, getting more people talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a bunch more announcements coming up in the coming weeks as well. This is just one of many. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's up on X, Packet Cash's X account. So you head over there and you can see the press release with Aflix.
Yeah, and we have one of these happening every week now. We have a bunch of them coming up. I've just written a handful of them, and the intent is, Josh's focus is to get one a day. That's where we want to be going and getting these things really starting to ramp up, more people coming on board. And it is interesting. These people coming on board want to promote their project. There's so many projects out there. And so the goal is for this really to become a tool, and a tool that nurtures itself, grows itself, where people can use it at their will, opposed to how it's been over the years, where it's just us constantly pushing and promoting and getting people to take action. So the goal here is, when you're talking to creators, when you're talking to project operators, when you're talking to fast channel operators, they have their own interests, and people are looking to be discovered. They want to gain audience. And so these platforms are really designed to be tools that people can use at their own discretion. Same thing with getting a website. Anybody starting a website, whether it be your blog or your e-commerce site or just a website for your business, an information site, that you should have the discretion to do whatever is right for you as an entrepreneur, or working to promote yourself, or put some message out there. And knowing that there's the option of going to GoDaddy and paying GoDaddy and VeriSign for the rest of your life, or you can come over to Packet DNS and grab yourself a web URL and have that domain free for life. Should be a decision that people make. But as we know, nobody knows about this yet. And so the key will really be able to get the word out.
Yeah, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, I have a website for my, artist project. I'm pretty sure I want to say it's like $80 a year for it.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, And so,
well, there's actually another new artist that's up on the Creator Hub, and that's Jinko. Got him. Got the Jinko.
I wouldn't say I'm a new artist, but
well,
been around
the new advertisement,
new edition.
Well, the new art that's on the Creator Hub. We got the banner up for your new album that just came out, and yeah, so it's live right now. So
yeah, and also my good friend Henry Fong's up there too, and Blake Weber, and yeah, there's a couple cool artists. My goal is to go through and reach out to all my buddies from my heydays in the music industry and get their catalogs up there. And that's gonna be the next phase of this, is really finding a way for us to integrate the Creator Hub and the Packet Hub into, just different distribution funnels. Because when you release a song on, let's just pick a distribution called like TuneCore, right? They distribute the music to all the different streaming platforms. And so it'd be cool if one of the streaming platforms is, adding your music to the hub. It's just like automatically distributes there. And then, eventually getting to the place where people could come to the hub to do their own distribution, and then we can distribute out to everybody else. I mean, maybe that's way down the line, but I think that would be a really cool addition.
Yeah, look, if you think about what SoundCloud is, right? SoundCloud is this self-distribution platform, and you can go create a profile there and you can upload your music. And it's how easy is that? Isn't that where you even started?
That's where we started. Yeah. Cause you used to be able to upload all kinds of different, bootlegs and, remixes of other people's artists that you didn't actually have the rights to. But oh, what up, Caleb? And
daylight savings.
Yep, that's right. I was just talking about the way that SoundCloud used to work, but now you can't really upload unlicensed music to SoundCloud. They've turned into an actual distributor where you can distribute your music to all the different streaming platforms. And SoundCloud just has, I'm not too looped into what's going on with SoundCloud, but in my opinion, I'm guessing they got a lot of heat from, posting remixes and bootlegs and, edits and things like that, letting people do that. And this music getting millions of streams. And the only person that got the credit for it was the person that created the remix, not the person who actually created the original piece of music.
Yeah.
Music's just such a weird thing,
Yeah. It's the same thing that happened with Audius, where they enabled artists to upload and claim the money, and then people just started uploading,
full songs of Bruno Mars songs, like the originals, download them from iTunes and upload the Audius and get all the money. So there's we live in an interesting time where there's just so much scamming and cheating and lying and stealing that you can't get away from those types of people, because the pendulum is not fairly distributed, so the people on the bottom, they got to do what they got to do in order to survive. And sometimes it's the bad part of things, but I think that there is a way for everybody to be fairly compensated for the works that they do. And that's what gets me really pumped up about the hub and the Creator Hub, is the fair distribution of funds that come from content, and it not going just to the gatekeepers that allow you to post on their platform, but actually going back to the creators of that music or content, films or whatever. Because and now with AI, I don't know if you guys have seen the AI music creation stuff. Like you can literally go, it's so crazy. I just saw this video of someone who went on to a music AI thing, said, create me a kid's song about a bear, and like a bear doing X, Y, and Z. And then what they did is they went into a ChatGPT and had it write a script about a bear doing the X, Y, and Z, and then had a video created using AI with the script, put the song to the video, uploaded it to YouTube, and now there's a full kids channel. It's 100% AI created.
Yeah.
The music, the video. And it's
music incredible.
Making thousands of dollars a week off this, just because the kids YouTube stuff. I mean, my kids watch YouTube all the time. Danny Go, Blippi, all these other ones, these like educational ones, Miss Rachel. There's all kinds of Coco Melon's one of the biggest ones. But yeah, it's just the AI is kind of taking over, in the sense of just creating nameless, meaningless content. As far as like the creative stuff where you're really diving into like actual art, I don't think AI can replace the music industry. I did just see a thing, but who knows where it's going to go in the next phase.
Yeah, look, I think it provides a lot of value if you're able to utilize it, like being able to create stems and be able to add those. If you're like, hey, I want this sound, you can describe it. It can provide that sound that you're looking for. Being able to like text to receive is super valuable. I mean, I created the pitch video that we've been throwing around. That the music's all AI. I was trying to even like rip off big composers, big movie composers, and trying to find the right song. And I'm just going through just like hours, just going through just like motion picture archives. And then I just went into Suno and just typed in, said, hey, I'm trying to create a video that does X, Y, and Z and has this, starts here and builds and blah, blah, blah. And it spit me out this. And I was like, wow, that's
wow, I didn't know that you did that.
Yeah.
That's how crazy. So the music and the video is AI.
Both
songs. So smart. That's so smart. I mean,
I
was just
you're like trying to you're trying to find something good, and then it's not doing what you want it to do, and then you just we'll just go make something original.
Yeah, because I was just because what I do is usually for any of the videos that we create for Packet or Rowdy, there's a website that lets you download music for royalty free,
right?
And you just have to give them credit on your video, and then in the description, and then they give you and then that creator gets credit or gets paid for it. Even if you don't put it in, your video does get striked, but it doesn't mean that like, it just means that there's a copyright strike, meaning that like all the money that comes from the views on that video go to the artist, opposed to if you're monetizing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty cool. Suno has gotten so good. I mean, you can even have it write you lyrics and it'll sing to the song if you wanted to have. It's pretty good. It's that stuff's a little frightening, but I mean, some of it's whatever, but you can definitely get some pop tracks out of that thing.
Yeah, I saw a couple of years ago, actually, or maybe it was like 2 years ago. I saw David Guetta. He made like he made a song and he put Eminem's lyrics, but they weren't his lyrics. They were AI.
Right.
And everybody was like, what is this song? And they created all this kind of like hype about David Guetta collaborating with Eminem.
That's wild.
And then he came out and was like, oh, I created that in AI. And he made like a whole video of how he did it. And people are just like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
And then Eminem sued him. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't, you can only sue if you release the song. But if it's just played out live, you can't, there's live performance royalties and stuff.
Yeah.
That's so true. Well, there will be, there's definitely a frontier unfolding here. And on the Packet TV side, we haven't talked a lot about what Packet TV is and what we're doing. And there's some pieces of it that aren't ready to be fully publicized. But the focus right now that Josh and I have really been putting forth around Packet TV is something that we intend to have launch actually 2026. So it'll be a hopefully Q1 2026 initiative that's going to use the Packet Hub and the Creator Hub as a feeder for content, in particular, a category called fast channels, which refers to free ad-supported streaming television. And these are channels that are very much equivalent to traditional cable, where you have a guide, you have content that's on at a certain time of day, which is called linear, and people will be able to tune in, watch TV on the Packet network, and really focused on offering transparency on both the data and the revenue side to creators, so that creators can contribute their content into the network and generate revenue while having access to a back end that will give them transparency on how that revenue is generated and where that revenue is going, as well as the data associated with the streaming. So those are that's a whole initiative that it was really the premise for getting involved with Packet Network and being so enamored with CJDNS in the beginning, wanting to have a technology platform that incentivized the community to build the network and then get into what the network can be used for with regards to streaming and revenue transparency. So we started this in 2019. Streaming has been happening since Netflix actually goes back quite many years before that. But it really started to pick up around 2015, 2016. That's when we started to see the cut the cord paradigm begin to emerge. And now you look where streaming has gotten to, the major streamers are bigger than the major studios and even worth more than the major studios. It's pretty unbelievable to look at the value of Netflix versus the value of Paramount. It's a big difference. Tens of billions of dollars more. Netflix is more valuable than the entire Viacom suite of all those brands and all their technology. So there's a full change of the guard that's happened. And in that process, the content creators that are contributing all the content that these mega platforms are making their money off of are just completely pushed to the wayside. And there's an opportunity to flip the script here and give the power back to the people, but it can't be done if you're relying on these mega platforms for your income and for your distribution. So the problem is that people get hooked too easy, and because there is big money, even if you are getting screwed over on the lion's share of that cash flow, people are relying on it. And also people don't want to go against their breadwinner. Where you're making your money, you don't want to, push against them. It creates this complacency that is hard to shift. Human nature avoids change, generally speaking. And so in this case, it's going to take a hell of a lot of marketing and proving the business model, and proving that there's money there, and proving that there's an opportunity for people to use as an ancillary. It's not to say that, hey, we're going to beat Amazon, we're going to beat Netflix. It's to say, hey, if you can get your money from Amazon, Netflix, get it. But for the other 99.9% of people that don't have access to the distribution platforms, these are viable alternatives, as well as if you do have access, you can also use these platforms as ancillary revenue opportunities and make more money than what you're making right now. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to participate in all these places? Why wouldn't you want your content to be accessible from all these places? And more importantly, why wouldn't you want to get direct to audience revenue where there is no middle person, or if there is a distribution fee, it's nominal and transparent. You can see exactly who's getting what and get not just access to that money, but get real-time access. And this is where I actually think crypto can have a huge impact on the entertainment industry in particular, is because the way the business models work today is that you have an entity that's the recipient of all the income, all the revenue, gross revenue, comes to them, goes into their bank account, and then over a period of time, they have an accounting department and team that produces a royalty statement. Then they email you the royalty statement. And then sometime after that royalty statement comes out, they'll send you your payment if you're even due a payment. And that royalty statement has no way of being verified. It's just a PDF with numbers on it. You have to just believe that that's how much money they made. That's how many purchases were received. That's how many streams were generated, whatever that royalty statement is depicting. And there's no way for you to verify it. There's absolutely no back check on that. But imagine that you could distribute your content easily. There was audience there to acquire, purchase your content, and you get paid in real time. And the back end is showing you exactly what the numbers are, both on the data side and on the revenue side in real time. And the payments are settling in your Web3 wallet in real time. So you don't have to wait for a royalty statement. You don't have to wait for, the check to come in the mail or whatever. And you can verify everything yourself. And it allows people to react and participate, but more importantly, react in real time to how people are receiving your content, whether people are receiving your content, understanding if people are not watching it, if people are not engaging it, you can take action to change that. And from a content creator standpoint, that's not how the industry works today. Once you give your product to a distributor, it's theirs. They do whatever they want. They'll communicate with you if they choose to. Most likely they won't. They'll do their own thing because a lot of it is relatively fraudulent in how they do it. They'll render a cost off the top for marketing expenses, for sales, for operations, for interest, whatever they're charging against the revenue that they're generating. And a lot of that just gets charged right up front, irregardless of what is actually being spent. And there's no way for you to verify that, no way for you to dispute it. They won't even show you what they spend the money on. They'll just charge you the expenses. I've seen this many, many times. And you're beholden to what you're told. There's nothing you can do about it. So this is really a changing the guard. It will be a slog to get people to take this types of action. We've seen that, I hate to, be derogatory, but content creators are fatigued at the time that they're seeking distribution. So it can come off as laziness, but they're really just looking for somebody to take their content and give them money for it at the time that they complete it. And so when you talk about the Creator Hub and, hey, take action, put your content out there, self-promote it, they don't want to do that. They want someone else to do it for them. They want someone else to market their content for them. And because of that little window between where your product is completed and where it gets distribution, it's actually sometimes not a little window. We were talking to a friend, they're 2 years since the completion of their TV series, and they haven't gotten distribution for it, running around looking for people to take action and distribute it for them. But because of that window, you get fatigued. You're just like, oh, we need someone else to do it. We don't want to spend the money. We've already spent all this money and time and energy creating and editing and packaging and marketing and trying to find a buyer, but we just don't want to be the person that's actually trying to sell this to audiences. And a lot of content just sits there, never gets distribution, or even worse, you get offered this low ball offer. We were talking to someone yesterday and they were just like, yeah, you just like get this offer from Netflix or from Amazon for 10 grand on a $5 million movie, 20 grand on a $5 million movie. And you just like kind of have to take it because you have no other choice. And that's a total loss. So,
but also people look at this and say, oh, well, we already have it on Amazon, so I can't put it on the Creator Hub. But the Creator Hub is just driving people to Amazon. If that's where you're monetizing your product, then you should be able to monetize it there and be able to drive audience to wherever you're monetizing it, if you're self-distributing it or if you have a platform that's already distributing it. But like, what, you're not allowed to post on Instagram, you're not allowed to go create a YouTube video about it. I mean, where's your carve out that you're not allowed to do? And so giving people the tools that if your monetization platform is iTunes or Amazon, that this is just free marketing. There's no reason not to put your content up here if you want to market, if you want to make money off of it and drive audiences to wherever you're going to monetize it.
Yeah. So that's where the education is going to come in, and where this platform becomes a tool that could be used worldwide. That's the other thing, is it's not specific to the United States. It can really be used on a global basis. So we've been talking a lot about this, giving a lot of thought to this problem and how the Packet Network can bring resolve to that. And our hope is we'll start gaining participation and community building around this network and the platform and the use of it, and people who are taking action, and you'll have people taking ownership of this platform relative to their own personal success there. And that's, we believe, the next chapter of growth for this project, and getting more people involved. So,
and we're starting to see new sites coming up on the Packet, the Packet domains.
Yeah.
345 domains now that people have claimed.
Oh, so that's awesome. That's awesome. Caleb, do you want to talk a little bit about what we always call the dump stake of domains? Just, I know you built that. It was something that we asked for, but maybe people didn't catch it on the previous the previous stream that we talked about it. It'd be cool to give it another intro.
Yeah. So registering domains is a multi-step process, no matter what. But we can make it a little bit more streamlined. The big issue was that you needed to have a stake in order to get a domain, and the stake needed to be at least a certain size. And what we found was that most people wanted to just make their stake exactly the minimum size. So I wrote a tool that would create the stake at exactly that size and register the domain in the same transaction. And it's on cgd.pkt whatever.
.live.
.net, actually.
Everything. .net. Yeah, we need to talk about that.
There's two things to talk about with .net, actually. Remind me about the registered name servers. Cool. So anyway, it's makes it, you go to this thing and it's there's no UI yet. It's just a little window that gives you logging and a go button, and you put in the maximum amount that you'd be willing to stake for the domain. It's not going to generally cost that much, but it just puts a limit on it so that you don't end up blowing through 50,000 packet in one shot. And the default is 50,000. So that's if you don't care about a limit, and you really don't need to put a limit. It's just going to do what it does. It's going to do what it costs right now. So you just type in your name that you want, and you click go, and assuming it's not already staked, it will do the process. Now you will have I believe 4 times the MetaMask pops up and asks you to confirm, but that's because there is multi-stage to it. Even when the important stuff is all atomic, there's still multi-stage. It will get you a domain without you having to worry about how much packet you're putting into it.
Did you update that one thing of showing what the minimum is on the site, or is that still left off?
No, I haven't updated anything.
Okay.
So
yeah, because that's the one issue, is that you still need a reference. Well, actually, so explain that one piece, which is that you can put the maximum that you're willing to stake.
The maximum that you're willing to stake, but it's not going to be that much. It's going to, in general, it's going to be the minimum that needs to be.
Right.
And what Jesse is referring to is that you could put the minimum as of 10 seconds ago. But just you have to understand that might not be what you actually end up staking. If somebody slips in before you, then then you might end up having a little bit. You might end up paying twice as much.
Right. But so just to clarify, so people who are looking at this, so if you go to this web URL, if you head over to cjd.pkt.net, right, and you click the link to do the stake domain, the idea here is you choose the domain name that you want. So you would choose, your name .pkt, and then you will choose the maximum amount that you're willing to stake. So you could put in 20,000 packet. Once you do that, once you press register here, then it's only going to lock up the amount required, whatever that number is live. And that's based on what the market is calling for at that given time. So you don't really have to pay close attention to what is the going rate. You just have to max it out. Now, if the going rate is higher than the amount that you've put in here, then of course it would fail and you would have to increase that number. At that point, you could go over to the dashboard at app.pkt.cash and make a change there. So that's, or at least see what the number is and then come back here and make a change. So this is a great tool though, because now instead of you having to create a stake and then go into Packet DNS and then pair it with a stake and it's just 5 more steps. This just simplifies it into just one click.
What might actually be a better UI would be to display the current rate as of now, and then it tells the contract that that's the maximum, and you don't have to enter the maximum, and then you click submit, and if it's still the current rate when the transaction goes through, fine, and if it's not, it fails and kicks you back to the page and gives you the new current rate.
Yeah, look, that's for sure what it should be. I mean, you just need to have that last feature. We mentioned that, which is just having that last feature of showing the number here live.
You can pull that off the server. The server tells you that.
And we're in the UI that we're building for the registrar front page from Packet Pallets, feeding in that data. So we're adding it into the UI. This is a great tool as far as the smart contracts concerned here that you built, and hats off to you. Thank you for building that. And the UI that Packet Pal will have will include that. But yeah, it would be great if the actual website showed that, just for people who are using it right here. Indeed.
Can't find my hat. Hats off.
Yeah, your hat's gone.
Let's talk about .net.
Yeah, so let's talk about .net. So yeah, big announcement actually. I thought that we had mentioned this last week. I think it just slipped our mind.
I think we did actually, but whatever. Let's talk about it again.
What's important is it's up.
So it's up.
That's true. Yeah, I did. I think we talked about that. I was trying to stake it last week, and now it's actually staked. You can actually go. I actually have josh.pkt.net is live. Go check it out.
And cjd.pkt.net is now live as well. Although I just noticed that .live wasn't working on CJD, Caleb. We should check that.
I love this website, Josh.
Live. Josh.pkt.net.
Yeah, this is josh.pkt.net. So
pkt.net has now been staked, and 56 or 66 or 67th stake domain, and that is available for people to use. What's cool about .net, and we want to get packet.com too. There's nothing on packet.com. Someone's just had it for a long time. We got to figure out how to get that on here. I think that would be a big I don't know if it will even be a money thing. It might just be like hitting someone up and seeing if they'll stake it, the people who do own it. I mean, but you're right, if we were to buy it from them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe it is a money thing that they want to sell it. It's not for sale, so I don't know. Someone's good Samaritan wants to go try and get PKT.com.
Coming down. We found Caleb. We could find that guy.
Yeah, we should definitely try and figure it out. So PKT.net, there's just a couple top level domains at the highest level. .com, .net, .info. There's just a handful of those real top level ones that are owned by VeriSign. And we acquired PKT.net and brought it into the ecosystem. So it's really an awesome addition because of the recognizability of that top level domain being one of the top 3 in the world. And it's now available for people to use as their top level domain for their packet domain. So get after it, just for people to have that knowledge that it's available is a significant investment, and very excited to have that allocated in the community. We've been talking about eventually moving the packet cache web URL over to packet.net. There's quite a bit of work to be able to make that happen. It will happen one day, but the big issue is that the dashboard resides over on pkt.cache, and there's those subdomains app.pkt.cache. There's just work that needs to be done to be able to migrate things. So
I registered app. So if ever, we can move app to app.pkt. Anything.
Right. So we could do app.pkt.net and get the whole, but it's a bunch of work to move the whole website. And we're not fully there yet. There's also a bunch of SEO and things we have to really make sure we understand that are important before we make a big change like that. But for the time being, pkt.net is available, and that's a big milestone. We're very excited about that. So we've been using pkt.tv for stuff that's happening. And look, here's the thing that is amazing. We're talking to a bunch of people about making this shift over to packet domains. And what's drawing people in is that they get the domain free for life. And yeah, you're using a subdomain system, but it's like, why not? It's free. And so we're seeing this, we're seeing, this attrition. We're seeing people get excited about it and setting up web domains. We're starting to see a bunch more that are live today. And yeah, let's just, continue to scale it out. There's absolutely no reason not to use this technology for your benefit and to save yourself money. I'll give you an example. I've had a web site that I've been operating since 2015. And it just came due from GoDaddy. They wanted me to pay like $60 or $70 to renew it. I just canceled it. And they're just harassing me. GoDaddy, I get a message every 2 days. Your domain's expiring in 45 days. Your domain's expiring in 43 days. Your domain's expiring. It's just like they keep telling me, they're hammering me. They're trying to get me to renew it. I'm going to let it go. And I went and claimed that same domain on Packet. And I'll just move the website over there. Never have to pay again. Like, why not? Why do I want to pay $70 every 1 to 2 years when I can just do it for free? So I think as more people get there, we'll be able to continue to grow. So
yeah, I did the same thing with my nonprofit Poets Rise. Put that up on Packet. It's great.
Yeah, it works fantastic.
Yeah,
it's lovely. So
yeah, there's a bunch of new sites up here. Safe Pass. I wonder what these are.
Yeah, we'll have to go check them out. People are,
so
taking action here.
The other news about packet.net is that we figured out what the registered name server issue is. And there, because it's required by VeriSign for their top level domains, netcom and net and so on. And so we have a workaround for that. So the workaround is half implemented. .NET is not currently yielding for Josh, but the way the workaround works is, and so this will probably also work for people who have their domains on GoDaddy. What you do is, so you're supposed to put name server like 216 ns216.pns.packeteer.com as the name server, and the same thing for CJDNS in order to get your name servers configured. Well, those name servers would have to be registered in a certain way with some paperwork and so on in order to be able to be used. And because there's a different one for each domain, it's not realistic to try to register them all. So, however, what you can do is, and a lot of times they'll let you create your own name server underneath packet.net, for instance. So the name server for packet.net is ns216.packet.net, and it's ns216a.packet.net and ns216b.packet.net. Those are the two name servers, and those have the IP addresses of the two name servers, packeteer.com and cjdns.fr. So if you have a name domain that requires a registered name server, that's the trick that you can do, which is to create a name server using your registrar's platform, but just give it the same name, the same number as the one that you're given. So NS216, if you are NS216, name your name server NS216A and NS216B, so that when the dashboard looks at what your name server is, it sees that it's 216 and knows that you should be credited for it. So that's something that the dashboard support will be coming soon, but it's already working for that. You can just enter that. It's a few hoops to jump through as the domain operator, but it's better than being required to take your domain off GoDaddy, for instance. It's more hoops than we would have liked, but it will get you to the point where you have an actual stake domain.
Yeah, and that was a great little workaround, because we've been trying to figure out how to deal with this problem with people trying to stake domains and getting the kickback that says that the domain's not registered. So even if it says domain's not registered, you're saying that it will still be able to now.
You have to create another name server using the interface of your registrar, and you just name that name server specially so that it can be recognized. So it has the 216 in the name of the name server that you create, and you put the IP of the name server to be the IP of ns.pns.cjdns and ns.pns.packeteer.com. You just have to manually enter those IP addresses, because when you create a name server, that's what they ask you to do.
Got it. So we'll put out a little post on this with the details. I have a domain that hasn't been staked yet that I'm going to follow these instructions myself to get that up there. I have a PKT.studio that I want to get up there, and there's a couple others that we want to see. I really wanted to see PKT.ai. I don't think that ever made it up. And there's a couple others that need to be grabbed. I think there's PKT.games, and there's a bunch of ones that we've been tracking down and wanting to get up there. So we'll get that information out to people that have had trouble, and there are quite a bit of people who have had trouble getting these web URLs up there.
Yeah.
One other
one of the things I want to show is I think it's Gawkstack. This is the nice gentleman that created the insights.
Yeah.
What is Rivaldi? Yeah. He also did a Minify, which is a URL shortener, and then a password generator. I don't know if you guys looked at any of this stuff.
I haven't seen SafePass. Have you, Caleb, seen SafePass?
I saw that it's there. I didn't look at it.
Yeah, so he built Insight. Guy's an absolute ace. He built Insight, and then he built Minify, so it's basically a link shortener.
I was just trying to. Yeah. Oh, you guys can't see this. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, because it went to the other spot.
It opened up a new. Let's see if it's gonna open. Here you guys. Yeah, here's a password generator. And then it also has a URL shortener.
Whoever made that password generator, don't do that. Passwords should be correct horse battery staple. Four dictionary words. It's memorable, and it can and it's hard to crack.
Yeah, you should just create your own password. You can't come up with a password and you need a generator, then we have to figure
out. No, the generators are great. I do use them because so there's one called useapassphrase.com. Starving litigator defiled hardwired. That would take like 800 million centuries to guess by guess and check. Starving litigator defiling hardwired. It's something that you can, if you focus to try to memorize it, you can memorize it. But you can at least type it into something. If I told it to you over the phone, you could type it. It's not like capital Z, a backslash, but no, the front slash with a %, but then the thing next to the %, you don't have to do that. It's just words. So it works with your brain, and it's there's a lot of words in the dictionary. So when you multiply that by 2 to the 4th power, 4 to the 4th, I don't know, whatever. There's a lot of words in the dictionary. When you put 4 of them, you get a lot of possibilities. So that's how passwords should be. If you're going to generate a password, that's what it should look like.
Got it. Nonetheless, cool that someone in the community is building websites that are actually, usable for everyday life, which is great. And we encourage everyone who's watching to go get your domain and start building some cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't cost you anything. You just stake your packet, and it's not like you're giving that packet to anyone. You're staking it, and then you get your domain and build your website, put it up, and that's that. You don't have to, have a reoccurring fee to Squarespace or Wix or, any of these other sites that, charge you a small fee every month or every year. So highly encouraged.
It's funny because I remember when Instagram started and everyone was like, oh, I'll just do it later. And then a year later, when everyone's doing it, then they're like, oh man, my name's not available, so I'll just add a 1 to it. And that's what happens. You hear about something and then it just floats through your brain. It's just go claim your domain just so you have the name. That was what Coinbase went and claimed their domain. They're like, they didn't put anything up there, but they, now Coinbase has the Coinbase domain, so nobody else can take it.
And Base did it too.
And Base, yeah. Well, the same thing. Yeah, they took both.
Everybody who's old remembers when somebody was like, yeah, you got to check out Bitcoin. Come on, internet money.
Yeah. My buddy had Jesus at AOL.com, and that was a valuable name.
Too bad you didn't have Jesus at Instagram on Instagram.
Right, for sure. Well, the thing is having the email is always, it was cool having those cool emails, but they had really no value. Like, you're not really having any value having.
Well, you can make this your email actually, which is cool.
That is cool.
I need to go add the josh.pkt.net as my email. Go test that one out.
So what would it be at? It would be josh.pkt.
So you can go create, like, go into Gmail or onto your Google Suite. I think I need to go test it, but I think you can go add it, because you can add an MX record. So you just go and add the MX record to your domain, and then connect it to your Google server, and then you could go and have Josh at josh.pkt.net as my email.
Or you could do a private email server if you wanted to as well. And someone actually,
I'm just saying this is like an easy,
no, you're right. You could just do it.
Create an alias domain for your whatever you have right now. So anyways, cool. I'll go play with it. I'll try and report back to the community.
You should record you doing it so we have a little video to share.
Yeah, I could do that. Cool.
All right, cool.
Well, nice hanging. We'll get some. We got some people that are coming next week, so we'll try and
we'll have some. We'll start bringing more guests on here next week.
Thanks to everyone who's tuned in, and anyone who shared it, retweet, liked, told a friend, called their grandma, told them to tune in. We appreciate it. Yeah, buy some packet. That shit's real cheap right now.
Crazy. Yeah, you can just get it so cheap. I mean, with the things that are coming down the pipe, I mean, look, it's a tough time in the market, so I get it. And there's still people selling off their airdrops, and that's fine. You got a third one coming, but cheap packet out there, definitely the time to load up. And with where this thing's about to go, we appreciate the sellers. You got to appreciate the sellers. People need money.
I'm ready to get in there.
Bring it to the floor. We'll see some new lows that we haven't never seen before, and you just be able to swoop a million packet for $250, $350. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm here for it.
Cool, guys. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. And we're here every Wednesday, same place, same time. Sorry for everyone who wasn't aware of daylight savings time in America. So
damn Americans.
Hopefully one day that daylight savings is abolished.
We did vote for that to be removed, so hopefully they pull that one together.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, catch you on the next one.
All right, see you later, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.